What's good, YouTube? I'm back with another video, man. Ohio State gets it done in the Cotton Bowl, headed to the national championship game. They win 28-14. It was effectively an away game for the Ohio State Buckeyes because the Cotton Bowl was in Dallas, Texas, it was in Dallas, so it was a close game for the majority of the game. It was 21-14, and then of course the game-saving, game-sealing strip sack fumble recovered for a touchdown by Jack Sawyer. 83-yard fumble recovery touchdown. Man, it was an amazing game to watch. Very exciting game. Two great teams duking it out, and Ohio State comes away with the win and is headed to the national championship game against the Notre Dame Fighting Irish, where they'll face off January 20th in Atlanta. So, man, just a quick recap of the game. It was so exciting to watch. I am from Ohio. I do like the Buckeyes. I was, man, it was stressful. It was stressful for a large majority of the game because Texas is a really good team, and a lot of people headed into the game were thinking that Ohio State, and including me, I thought we were going to have a lot more success throwing the ball than we did. I thought Jeremiah Smith was going to have a better game than that, but he didn't. But it wasn't like, he didn't affect the game at all, because when you got a guy like him, you have to watch out for him. So the defense was always aware of Jeremiah Smith, so he affected the game because he opened up opportunities for other guys like Cardinal Tate, who had a big game. Mekhi Igbukwe had a nice game as well. So yeah, Jeremiah Smith definitely affected the game, but it was stressful to watch because you're expecting some big plays. You're expecting more of that offensive explosion that you saw in the Oregon game and the Texas game. In the Tennessee game. But no problem. We still had a huge play before the halftime. We had a 75-yard touchdown run by TreVeyon Henderson off a screen pass. 20 seconds left in the half. I'm ready to turn the TV off, just get ready for the next half, and I see TreVeyon Henderson running down the sideline with that track speed that he has. It's ridiculous how fast he goes, and his acceleration is insane. I think we got a great running back matchup in the national championship. When you look at Jeremiah Love versus the two running backs at Ohio State, Jeremiah Love is, I think he's probably better than both of them. He's definitely better than Quinshawn. I think he's better than both of them right now. So Jeremiah Love but those two together, the dynamic duo that they are, it's going to be great to see. You're going to see a lot of great plays from the running back position in the national championship game. But I'll talk about that in a later video. But let's talk about some narratives that I've seen from the game since the game ended last night. One of the things I saw, Quinn Ewers sold the game. Yes, Quinn Ewers threw a pick at the end of the game when they were already down 14 points after the strip sack fumble recovery touchdown. But Quinn Ewers played a great game, in my opinion. Quinn Ewers was not the reason you guys lost the game. If anything, I see a lot of people blaming the play calling at the 1-yard line. Yeah, that's more. You guys can go ahead and attribute the loss to that more than you can to Quinn Ewers' play. Quinn Ewers played a very good game. It looked like he got sacked on 3rd and 10. He flips it over to his right to his running back, and the running back makes a play. Like, he wanted it, bro. You can't say Quinn Ewers didn't want to win. He wanted to win. He was trying to make every single play he could. He just didn't get it done, and that happens sometimes. Every game, somebody wins or loses. It's not a participation trophy for these type of things. So somebody's gonna lose, and somebody's gonna play really hard and play really, really well and still lose the game, and that just happens to be Quinn Ewers. So I saw people trying to blame Quinn Ewers for the loss. It was not his fault, in my opinion. Now, we do have to talk about that goal line stand by the Ohio State Buckeyes. Now, I don't know if the viewers watching this understand, but Ohio State's goal line defense is simply excellent this season. They had a goal line stand against Penn State on the road at Penn State, and they ended up winning the game after getting a successful goal line stand. And as you know, Penn State was just in the semifinal against Notre Dame, so that's a really good team that they were able to do it against. And now they do it against Texas, basically on the road again in Dallas, Texas. And they're able to get another goal line stand, this one resulting in a touchdown. Mind you, they had 2 goal line stands in the Penn State game because it was first and goal again, and they tried to throw a fade route, and Igbenogson picked it off right before the half at Penn State. So they are very good at goal line stands, and which is a really, it's exciting to watch. I mean, it's not exciting to watch. It's impressive to watch because most teams, when you get to the goal line, you just simply, if I'm on offense, you're thinking we're gonna score 6 right here. That's the mentality that you should have on offense when you're in a goal line situation. And majority of the time they get it done because your back's against the wall. I only have to get 1 yard. It's over at that point. But Ohio State never gives up. They really and it seems like they enjoy those back against the wall situations like a goal line stand because they simply it's like they get new life when it's a goal line situation, and they just play that much harder. So yeah, that was great. Let's talk about that play call where you got Sark, and he's a great coach, but the pitch in that situation, I always hate when teams run a pitch in that situation. That's just me. I never like when teams run a pitch. If that's me and I'm on the 1 yard line, and of course I'm not a head coach, of course I'm not, Steve Sarkisian has forgotten more football than I know. He's learned and forgotten more football than I know. Probably 10 times more football than I know. So I'm not trying to act like I'm a guru or anything. But when people get on the 1 yard line and they don't QB sneak it 4 times in a row, I just don't understand. Like, why would you not just sneak it? Okay, we didn't get it, sneak it again. Okay, we didn't get it, sneak it. Like, bro, just keep sneaking. You're bound to get a QB sneak, bro. They only have to push them 1 yard. Your offensive line only has to push them 1 yard. They don't have to do anything magnificent. So that's just me. I would have just ran QB sneak 4 straight times. And you got a guy like Arch Manning, so the QB sneak, the defense would have had to be ready for like an option route. I mean, not an option, an option play where instead of the QB sneak, they run an option. Like, bro, you could have did a lot of different things right there if you would have subbed in Arch Manning, which I've seen a lot of people say that he should have done. The thing about subbing in Arch Manning, and the thing about having 2 quarterbacks in general, Texas has been dealing with this all year. When you have a guy and you got 2 quarterbacks, the fan base is always going to be, well, you should have had the other guy in. You should have had the other guy in. You should have got, like, bro, come on, man. Quinn Ewers got y'all to this point. Y'all are going to live and die with Quinn Ewers, and y'all happen to not get it done. So Texas played a great game. They had a beautiful interception to start off the second half that really got them some momentum. Their running back had 2 touchdowns, 2 receiving touchdowns. He's a lot better player than people give him credit for. So shout out to Texas. They played a great game. But Ohio State was just the better team that night, and they made plays when it mattered, particularly made plays when their back was against the wall, just like that goal line stand. And that touchdown, that 75-yard touchdown by TreVeyon Henderson right before the half. And if you remember, TreVeyon Henderson had just got an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty that, got rid of the momentum on the drive before that. So it's very uncharacteristic for TreVeyon Henderson to do something like that. He's a great kid, great young man, great child of God. He's always giving credit and giving glory to Jesus Christ. So he's a great person, great human being, but he had an uncharacteristic mistake that cost the Ohio State momentum. It cost Ohio State their momentum, and ultimately they had to punt that drive. So for him to get it back and get a 75-yard touchdown and, redeem himself, it just speaks to the resilience of the team. So Ohio State, a lot of people favored them to win. They did get it done. They covered as well. It was a great win for the Buckeyes. They are headed to Atlanta, where they will see the Notre Dame Fighting Irish in a rematch of last year's game. I was actually at that game. It was in South Bend. Notre Dame lost that game on a last-second goal line rushing touchdown after Ohio State had to drive the whole entire field. One of the passes by Kyle McCord should have got picked off. The game would have been sealed and delivered at that point, but it didn't. It didn't happen. Ohio State gets all the way down to the goal line. Notre Dame has the fatal mistake where they have 10 players on the field instead of 11, and Ohio State gets a rushing touchdown. I believe that was I don't know who scored that touchdown. I can't remember. I know his face. I can't remember his name, but it was I was actually at that game. The stadium went so silent. All you heard was Ohio State fans. So that was an experience for sure. We have a rematch, and Notre Dame, to this point, a lot of people have been counting them out game after game after game. They said they were going to lose to Georgia. They said they were going to lose to Penn State. They counted them out when they lost to NIU all the way back during the regular season. And Notre Dame is a very resilient team, and people are, they talk about their offense not being that good. Well, Notre Dame has scored. I mean, if you look at the regular season and look at the scores of the game, Notre Dame was putting up 50 points, 60 points, like it was going crazy during the regular season. And during the playoffs, they beat every team they played. They scored more points than the other team. You know what I mean? So people trying to act like they don't have offensive weapons or the ability to put points up. You are severely underestimating Notre Dame. They are a extremely well-coached team, well-oiled machine, and it'll be a great ball game. Ohio State, of course, has been super hot, and the thing about Ohio State that I like, just from a football perspective, I appreciate them as a good team. I appreciate the fact that they can win in different ways. Notre Dame, in my opinion, is going to be tough for them to win this game, because they don't have the amount of weight, they don't have the paths to victory that Ohio State has. And I'll get to this in a later video when I do the keys to the national championship game. But just to talk about it now, Ohio State can win by beating you through the air. They can win a low-scoring game because they have an excellent defense, and you're not going to just completely shut down their offense. So if they get to 21 points and their defense does their job, they can probably win a game against Notre Dame. With that being said, Notre Dame they're going to give everything they have, and Notre Dame is going to have the emotional advantage because they lost the past 2 seasons to Ohio State. So they when you lose to a team, when you lose to a team, they remember that, so you beat the team and you're moving on. You're like, oh, we just beat them. We're moving on to this, we're moving on to that. Those losses remain in people's heads, though. That's the same thing happened this season when Ohio State played Oregon. Oregon went about their season. Ohio State's always thinking about that loss. So they're going to have that emotional advantage, just like Notre Dame will in the national championship game. So, we're in for a great one. I won't give my prediction here. I'll give it in a later video. You guys tell me what you thought. It was a great game. Kudos to both teams. Ohio State pulls out the win, wins 28-14 in the Cotton Bowl in Texas against Texas, headed to Atlanta for the national championship versus the Fighting Irish. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and I'm out.